All right, retired Brigadier General Sani Usman joins me virtually from Abuja to discuss the issue and the way forward in tackling growing insecurity in the country. I'm going to have you join us, and we're focusing basically on the Kaduna train attack conversation. Thank you so much for joining us.
I can hear you. Are you hearing me too?
Yes, I can hear you now. Thanks for joining us. In a really, really sad development, we understand that one of the recently rescued victims of the Kaduna train attack has also now been killed, and by suspected bandits as well. I just wanted to ask you, from your security experience, if those who have been through that kind of experience of kidnap are always a victim, irrespective of whether they have been released or not. Do they stay on the radar, or are they also always been monitored by these bandits?
Well, it is very difficult to say because the security situation is aversive in the sense that it could be one could be on their radar at the same time, given his or her ransom value. But at the same time, there are random victims because given the situation in the country, you never can tell whether you could be a victim of circumstances or not. So unless a thorough investigation or ownership of the commission of dastardly crime is taken, you hardly ever know. You cannot categorically say, because I know for sure the wonderful effort of the federal government through the Chief of Defense Staff Action Committee has yielded in right dividends. And I know for sure it was based on trust and the skill of those people that were able to have the 23 people released, the last batch of them. So possibly, if there are outstanding issues, I don't think that could be it. But because I'm not so sure if there is any outstanding issue. The only outstanding issue is that, and which is part of the way forward, is the fact that this action committee over time, for 6 months, they have traversed various nooks and crannies of this country, particularly the Northwest and the North Central. So they had a fair understanding of the problem and the best way forward. So there is a need to listen to them. There is a need to, implement some of their recommendations. But the best way forward is to build on the gains so far made by that committee.
Brigadier General, I want to get to the way forward. But let me just ask you, because this also shows that whilst they were celebrating or were celebrating their release, they are still not safe. It means that whether they could also be a victim of circumstance, no matter what. And so one wonders how this kind of situation can be averted, that not just the victims of the train attack, but just generally in the North, that people are no longer victims of these kind of attacks. What can be done?
Well, the starting point, just like I told you, we have had a group of people that did a wonderful effort. And beyond what we all know, and even some of the security forces know, this group of individuals, they have first-hand and credible information about ongoing in the terrorist and the bandit camps. They have a fair idea, and they have an idea how best to tackle the issue. And the best thing to tackle the issue is to build on the gains so far made. But beyond that, again, it is the responsibility of the government to mobilize the Nigerian society so that we have a whole society approach to the program, to the issue. And when I talk about whole society, everybody has a role to play. Think of issues of good governance, because bulk of the security challenges, they have their root causes on some of the socio-economic problems in the Nigerian society. What extent are we addressing those issues? It goes a long way, in solving some of these issues. And I made reference to the fact that we have 3 tiers of government: the federal, state, and the local government. In most instances, the local government, they are just there nominally. They are not working. So we have to strengthen them, and we have to strengthen other institutions, particularly, the judiciary, so that the criminal justice system in the country should, be up and doing. But beyond that, again, there should be social security for an average citizen so that he or she will not be so enticed to go into criminality. But most importantly, there were allegations of arbitrary arrest and all the rest of the thing. So we need to look at the issue of, obeying the rules of engagement, being professional on the part of the security forces, not randomly, arresting people who, that are not actually involved in this criminality. So it calls for diligent work on the part of the security agencies. But most importantly, again, other components of the Nigerian society had to be taken on board so that they can contribute their best. Let's even look at,
General,
let's
if I
even
may
talk
just quickly
about
jump in, because I
the
think I have a
train
few
attack.
seconds left. I just wanted to ask you, because the government has said that no ransom was paid for this particular release. I want to ask you if you have any information as to that, whether ransom was paid or not. And then if the method that was used for, or the mechanism that was used for the release of this, of the Abuja Kaduna train attack victims can also be used for others who have been kidnapped and are still in the kidnappers' den.
Well, first and foremost, I started by commending the government for the wonderful initiative and commend the effort of the Action Committee for securing the release of these people. And what I want you to understand, to the best of my knowledge, thus far, I have not heard of any ransom being paid, either in cash or kind or any other commitment. And that is one of the high points of this wonderful efforts of the committee. Hence, I am recommending that we should build on this, negotiation effort so that we can be able to solve the security challenges, because they have learned so much. It may interest you to know. I wish we have the time. We would have talked on nitty-gritties of some of these things. They have talked to so many people. They have visited so many places. And of course, they have heard the grievances of these people. And beyond that, again, to what extent now are we utilizing that knowledge, to come out with, policy frameworks or interventions to mitigate the security issues. And that is why it is very important to build on that.
All right. Thank you so much for talking to us. Retired Brigadier General Sani Usman, thank you for talking to us.